I don't believe in motivation. I believe in discipline. People who ask me about motivation are basically saying, I don't feel like training. How do I get to the point where I feel like training? And the answer is, you're never going to feel like doing it most of the time. Sometimes you're not going to want to do it, but it is your duty as a man to do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. It doesn't matter what it is. If I told you that you had to drive a Ferrari every single day for an hour, there's going to be days where you're not going to want to do it, regardless of how fun it is. And that goes for anything in life. But if you do not do the things you need to do when you don't feel like doing them, you will never be able to compete against the people like me who perform regardless of how they feel. So you have to sit here today and make a decision. Forget the idea of motivation for a second and listen to what I'm about to say with a completely open mind and stop being ignorant to the fact that you are weak mentally. Decide who you want to be. This is genuinely an actionable step for you. Do this right now. Get off your ass and go into the mirror and look directly into your own eyes and decide, am I going to be a fucking loser in life or am I going to be a winner? Because the current path most of you are going down right now has been a path of only doing what you feel like when you feel like doing it, which has led you to your current existence, which you don't enjoy being in right now. A little over 2 years ago, when I was addicted to vaping, smoking weed almost every single day, binge eating shit food, I one day woke up and looked myself in the mirror and decided I didn't want to be a fucking loser anymore. I knew what it was going to take in order to have to pull myself out of this hole that I dug for myself, but I knew that the future me was going to thank me for it. So as a result, I genuinely had to kill myself. I had to kill the older version of me by disguising acts of self-torture as my daily training routines. Now, obviously, I built up to this level of volume, but I'm talking 3 a days, 4 a days, 5 a days, 6, 7, 8 hours a day of training, 7 days a week, 1 to 2 hours of cardio every single morning at 5 a.m., followed by 1 to 2 hours of lifting, followed by 1 to 2 hours of team training for my college, on top of an additional hour of individual training that I would be putting in between sessions. And the worst part was, I knew that every morning I woke up, I had to perform regardless of how sore I was from the previous day's training. Because I made a deal with myself that this is the plan that I'm going to follow, and I'm going to follow it to a T every single day, and I will not waver. And if I do not waver after a long enough time frame, I will get the results that I want. And I know I'm making this sound all doom and gloom like it was absolutely torture every single day, but I'm not going to lie. Some of the workouts were fun, and I did enjoy them. But most of the time, they were not. But regardless, I told myself that I am going to do this every single day to the best of my ability and not allow how I feel to affect my actions. That's what winners do, and that is the lesson of this video. So to give you an example, let's pretend that you're a professional athlete and you have a championship match on July 1st. You might not feel like playing that day. You might be a little bit sick. Your ankle might hurt from the previous game. But regardless, the game is already set. The stadium is already sold out, and you're the star player on the team, and your team is counting on you. You have to play. You don't get to say, oh, I don't feel like playing right now. You don't get to play like shit and tell everyone else around you that, well, I didn't really feel like playing today, so that's why I didn't play as well. You have to be good enough on your worst day to beat your opponent on their best day. And that's the game, and that's the winner's mentality. So when people ask me about motivation, I can give them plenty of little catchphrases and motivational and inspirational shit to give them that little spark. But I always say it's never about motivation. This is about who you are and who you want to be on this planet. Now, this video might have pissed you off and gotten you fired up a little bit and might have gotten you off the couch to go to the gym and start training. But when that alarm clock goes off at 4 or 5 in the morning, every single morning, motivation's not going to be there to save you. It has to be your discipline. That's what's going to get you out of bed regardless of how you feel. So look at yourself in the mirror today and decide who you really want to be in this life. Once you've done that, it's only a matter of training your mind. And how we train our mind is, I've said it before and I'll say it again, in order to train the mind, we must train the body first. And if you need a place to start when it comes to training your body and training your mind, top link in the description is going to be a calisthenics masterclass that is going to help you build an athletic and aesthetic physique with no equipment. I hope this one helped today, and I will see you tomorrow, my friend.